Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county, and of those whose interests you've committed to our church. Amen. Clerk, kindly take us through the order of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Order paper number 128 of Thursday, 9th November 2023 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Henrietta Bodo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of orders number 182-6 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, I wish to table today, Thursday, 9th October 2023, report of progress by the Implementation Committee on the status of House resolutions, first session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I want to confirm receipt of the progress report of the Select Committee on Implementation on the status of House resolutions passed during the first and second session of the Third Assembly, as properly laid by Honorable Henrietta Bodo, the Chairperson of the Committee on Implementation. I want to direct that this report be committed to the House Business Committee for purposes of scheduling for debate. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Yes, Honorable Henrietta Bodo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of orders number 45-1 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopt a progress report of the Implementation Committee on the status of House resolutions, first session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
It is statement time. Next order, clerk.
Order number 8, commencement of business. Motion, adoption of a report of the Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee on consideration of the Kisumu County Public Service Board's annual report for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 by Honorable Zakaria Okoyo.
Honorable Zach Okoyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the Kisumu County Public Service Board forwarded to the County Assembly of Kisumu their annual report for the year 2022 on the 28th December 2022, Annexure 1, on behalf of the County Assembly of Kisumu. This was tabled in the House as a paper on 22nd February 2023 by the Majority Leader, Honorable Kennedy Ooko. Honorable members, consequently, the Honorable Speaker directed that the report be committed to the Select Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services for interrogation and provide a report on the same. Establishment and mandates of the committee. The Committee on Labor and Social Welfare is established pursuant to Standing Order number 193 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders and is mandated to oversight over all matters relating to labor, trade union relations, manpower or human resource planning, gender, social welfare, and national youth services. Committee membership. As is constituted by the House, the Committee of Labor and Social Welfare is currently made up of the following members. Honorable Zach Okoyo, Chairperson. Honorable Ken Ooko, Vice Chairperson. Honorable Alice Wajewa, Member. Honorable Benson Adega, Member. Honorable Eunice Salando, Member. Honorable Mildred Ajumbo, Member. Honorable Emily Oginga, Member. Honorable Seth Kanga, Member. And Honorable Mickey Ochieng, Member. Secretariat, Pastor David Ochieng, Senior Clerk Assistant. Oguta Crispin, Clerk Assistant. Jessica Otieno, Hansard Reporter. Zachary Nyalalo, Sergeant at Arms. Acknowledgement. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the committee wishes to thank the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Assembly for the support extended to it in conducting its meetings and investigations. The committee equally extends gratitude to the members of the committee and its secretariat for their valuable time to robustly participate in the interrogation and scrutiny of this report. It is now my duty to hereby submit this report to the House for consideration on behalf of the Select Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services. Thank you. Signed by Chair on that date. Introduction. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, pursuant to Section 59(1)(d) of the County Government Act 2012, that requires the County Public Service Board on behalf of the county government to prepare a regular report for submission in the County Assembly on the execution of the board, and Section 59(1)(1) of the very Act that requires the board to evaluate and report to the County Assembly on the extent to which the values and principles referred to Article 10 and 232 of the Constitution are complied with in the County Public Service The Kisumu County Public Service Board submitted their annual report for the year ended 2022 to the County Assembly of Kisumu on 28th of December 2022. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the report was tabled in the House on 22nd February 2023 and consequently committed by the Honorable Speaker to the Select Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services for legislative processing and reporting. This report now constitutes the response of the County Assembly of Kisumu on the Kisumu County Public Service Board Annual Report for 2022. Committee subjects. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the second schedule of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders number 193 outlines the subjects of the Labor and Social Welfare Committee mandate. The legal framework. County Government Act 2012, Section 59(1)D, which mandates the board to prepare regular reports for submission to the County Assembly on the execution of the functions of the board. Section 59(1)F, which mandates the board to evaluate and report to the County Assembly on the extent to which the values and principles referred to in Article 10 and 232 are complied with in the county public service. Employment Act number 11 of 2007. Section 37(1), notwithstanding any provision of the Act where a casual employee A works for a period or a number of continuous working days which amounts in the aggregate to the equivalent of not less than 1 month, or B performs work which cannot be reasonably be extended to be completed within a period or a number of working days amounting in the aggregate to the equivalent of 3 months or more. The contract of service of the casual employee shall be deemed to be one where wages are paid monthly, and Section 35(1)C shall apply in the contract service. National Cohesion and Integration Act 2008. Section 7(1), all public establishments shall seek to represent the diversity of the people of Kenya in the employment of staff. Section 7(2), no public establishments shall have more than 1/3 of the staff from the same ethnic community. County Public Service Human Resource Policy and Procurement Manual 2016. Committee Observation and Findings. Committee Observations. The committee, in a meeting dated 6th April 2003, reviewed and analyzed the Public Service Board Annual Report for 2022 and noted several issues that require further attention and clarification by the board. The committee therefore resolved to write the board to shed more light on the following issues. 1, inconsistent report on recruitment. The figures of 408 staff recruited during the year ending December 2022 are not adding up in terms of ethnic composition and gender. The board will account for the ethnic composition of 84 staff from the dominant community and 10 staff from non-dominant community. 10 staff out of a total of reported 408 staff recruited during the period under review. Additionally, the board could only account for the gender.
What is it, Honorable Seth Kanga?
Mr. Speaker, I see members, I don't know from which country, seated in the public gallery. But again, I see some two notable faces, Mr. Speaker, which I have never recognized in this honorable house, Mr. Speaker. With your due guidance, Mr. Speaker, I deem them as strangers, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I think the whip is just right. I gave authority because I was informed earlier enough that we have members of Kiambu County Assembly, the Education Committee, with us here in Kisumu. And as a practice and even in other assemblies, I think yesterday the members of Kisumu County were in Nakuru. So I directed the Sergeant at Arms that only the members of Kiambu County Assembly who are properly dressed can be allowed to sit with the honorable members. Those who are not properly dressed can sit in the gallery together with the staff. So you are right, Honorable Seth Kanga, for bringing that one to the attention of the Speaker. So, Honorable Zako Koyo, before you proceed, allow me to recognize the presence of members of Kiambu County Assembly. That is the Education Committee. And I would recognize them by names. Honorable Lawrence Mwaura, who's chair of the committee. Honorable Esther Irungu, vice chair of the committee. Honorable Samuel Njoroge, member of the committee. Honorable Ngaruia Patrick. Honorable Celestine Ngure. Honorable Mwiberi Ngugi. Honorable Alice Kamau. Honorable Wanyutu Wamwere. Honorable Gladys Wambui. I want to tell the members that they have been accompanied by their secretariat, so feel welcomed. You came when we have done our communication, but I think at appropriate time, I will give some two members to welcome you officially. So, Zako Koyo, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was in the issues which committees resolved to, and I was in number 2. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, conversation of terms of employment. What legal justification support the decision by the board to convert contract from and to different terms and conditions as reported in section 211, 212, and 213. Number 3, industrial attachment. What policy document does the board rely on for attachment and staff training program? Number 4, why is it that all the training approved by the board are only for officers from the health department? And this one also we wanted we wanted them to provide data, report on staff training, needs assessment in all the department for the period ending December 2022. That is section 217. What is the current statutes of the recruitment exercises reported as ongoing during the period ending December 2022? And that is section 219. 6, What are the justification for the 750 staff payment made through payment vouchers? And we wanted to know why the board could not, the county HR department will include all the staff, IPPD. That is section 2221. What is the current status of 964 staff promotions reported under section 225 of the report? Number 8, what is the status of implementation of the judgment in court cases involving health workers? Reference is ELRC number 64 of 2020, E017 of 2021, ELRC number E6464 of 2020, and ELRC number E020 of 2022, as reported under section 231 of the report. And number 9, what procedure and manual guide the Kisumu County disciplinary process and procedures? Does the county have a customized specific staff disciplinary procedure, manual or guideline? And we wanted them to share a copy. Committee findings, Mr. Speaker. The board, in a letter dated May 16, 2023, and reference KPSB/09/05/2023, duly reported to the after-mentioned issues. The committee noted the following from the response adduced before it by the Kisumu County Public Service Board. Number 1, inconsistent report on recruitment. That the board acknowledged that indeed the mathematics on the recruitment of staff was not adding up, and that the error arose during and due to insertion of wrong figures. The board later submitted to the committee the correct position of the recruitment status of 334 staff and not 408 as earlier indicated. Mr. Speaker, the figure is here below, and I would wish the members to go through it. Number 2, conversations of terms of employment. That the board based the conversation of employment terms of county staff during the year under review on section 37 of the Employment Act number 11 of 2007, which provides for conversion of employment terms. Number 3, industrial attachment. That the board relied on section 914 of the County Public Service Human Resource Policy and procedure manual, which provides for internship and attachment policy and procedures. The board also submitted before the committee a copy of the County Public Service Human Resource Policy and Procedure Manual. Number 4, trainings. That there are departmental human resource committee in all departments, and that they handle staff training needs at department levels and based on available, if funds that the departmental HRCs forward the staff training needs to the County Human Resource Advisory Committee, and that HRAC consider and approves the recommendations, and that subsequently the county service secretary issues release letters to the successful stands.
Honorable Zako Koyo, you told me that you have eye problem, so if you can delegate to one of your members of the committee to help you present the report.
Mr. Speaker,
I would appreciate it.
I'm almost. I appreciate your concern, Mr. Speaker. That board, however, did not provide data or report on staff training needs assessment in all the departments for the period ending December 2022. Ongoing recruitment exercises. The committee noted the following in the status of the ongoing recruitment exercises within the county. A, recruitment of chairpersons and members of Kisumu County Revenue Board. That the process was still ongoing as at May 16, 2023. And that pursuant to Section 3A, 5A of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, the board already completed the process of advertising for the position of chairman to the board, preparing a long list of all applicants and subsequent short list of successful applicants, interviews of the successful applicants, and forwarding a list of successful applicants to the governor. However, the board did not adduce copies of adverts, long list and short list of the applicants before the committee. B, recruitment of chief officers and directors. That the process was still ongoing as at May 16, 2023. That interview for the position of chief officers were completed and names of the successful candidates forwarded to the governor for nomination. Recruitment of town management committee members. That interviews of successful applicants were recently conducted, are awaiting selection. 6, Mr. Speaker, staff payment. The board did not give any information to the effect of payment of 750 staff through payment vouchers not included in IPPD. Number 7, status of 962 staff promotions. That out of 964 staff, all were promoted, save for 14, and that 14 were to undergo suitability interviews as they were due for promotions to higher job groups. Number 8, status of implementation of court judgment. The committee inquired on the status of implementation of judgment in court case involving health workers, ELRC number 64 of 2020, E017 of 2021, EALRC number E6464 of 2020, EALRC number E020 of 2022. The board submitted that in all the above 4 matters, the judge gave an order of status quo, therefore maintaining the status as was. And that a court judgment can only be entered once a legal proceeding is finalized. Therefore, there is no judgment to be implemented in any of the above matters. Number 9, procedure and or stroke manual on disciplinary process. That the County Public Service Board Human Resource Policy and procedure manual is modeled as the Public Service Commission Act number 10 of 2017, which is parent act, and that is that manual that guided the disciplinary process involving staff of the county. The board also admitted a copy of the manual before the committee. Number 10, Mr. Speaker, status of recruitment of assistant ECD teachers and VCT trainers. That hiring of assistant ECD teachers and vocational training center trainers is currently on hold, and that the process is awaiting confirmation of specific budget allocation for the exercise. Mr. Speaker, committee recommendation. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, based on foregoing findings in the issues identified in the Kisumu County Public Service Board annual report for 2022, the committee makes the following recommendations. That Kisumu County Public Service Board should evaluate and submit to the County Assembly a comprehensive report on execution of the function of the board for the year under review. That the board should ensure accuracy and verifiability of the contents of the annual report before submission to the County Assembly to avoid errors observed on issues of recruitment of staff during the year under review. That before advertisement of vacancy in the County Public Service Board, the board should have regular consultations with the county executive to confirm availability of the funds for the same. That the board do to duly oblige and provide timely information regarding the issue of positions of data stroke report on staff training needs assessment in all the departments for the period ending December 2022 within 60 days upon adoption of the report. That the board to fast track the completion of hiring process of the assistant ECD, ECDE teachers, VCT trainers that was put on hold and provide a comprehensive report on the status of the hiring process within 30 days upon adoption of the report. That the board should make efforts to comply with Section 7(1) and 2 of the National Cohesion and Integration Act 2008, which stipulates that all public establishments shall seek to represent the diversity of the people of Kenya in the employment of staff, and that no public establishment shall have more than 1/3 of the staff from the same ethnic community. That the board should adhere to all relevant laws and statutory provisions in staff recruitment and dismissals in order to reduce the number of litigations against the Kisumu County Public Service Board. That the board should scale down the number of workshops and capacity building courses to save on funds that will help increase the delivery of services and therefore not affect important activities such as human resource audits and skill gap surveys, which are very critical evaluation exercise any work-related organization. That the board should consider sacking of potential partnership with the non-governmental organization, NGOs, and other interested stakeholders to supplement county financial and non-financial resources in service delivery. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, based on the proceeding of observation, findings, and recommendations, the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services rejects the Kisumu County Public Service Board annual report for the period ending December 2022. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee would like to implore upon Kisumu County Public Service Board to adhere to the recommendations contained herein. It is therefore my honor and privilege on behalf of the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare to move a motion of the report on this consideration of the Kisumu County Public Service Board annual report for the period ending December 2022 before the Honorable House for adoption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may I ask Honorable Eunice Alando to second. Sorry, I thought my Eunice Alando is around. Honorable Speaker, may I ask the Chief Whip, Honorable Seth Kanga, to second. Thank you.
Yes, the Chief Whip. Honorable members, now that the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services have given their report on the consideration of the Kisumu County Public Service Board's annual report for the year ended December 2022, as presented by the Chair of the Committee, Honorable Zachary Okoyo, MCA Central Kisumu Ward, seconded by Honorable Seth Kanga, MCA Market Milimani, and the Chief Whip, I want to propose a question. And I propose that the committee report on the consideration of the Kisumu County Public Service Board's annual report for the year ended December 2022 is open for debate. Yes, Honorable Benny Petoiko, Kabonyo Kanyagwal.
Mr. Speaker, today it is very historical that a committee has brought a report and rejected its report on the spot. And then we are called upon to make contribution, Mr. Speaker. It's very interesting. All the same, let us struggle to get the content of the report. Mr. Speaker, this is an annual report of the County Public Service Board of Kisumu County. What should we expect from this report? The recruitment that was done, the promotion that was done, if there were staff that were sacked, if there was staff that resigned, and any other labor matters that were handled by the service board during that financial year, Mr. Speaker. When we go to page 8, inconsistent reports on recruitment of the figure of recruitment, the figures of 408, which has been corrected to 334, and it is tabulated there. That means there was a clerical error when the report was prepared, Mr. Speaker. We go to number 2, conversation of terms of employment. What does this mean? There are people who are employed on contract as casuals. They were now being promoted. I thought that could be the picture. And when we go through this report, it is in the health department where such cases were. And it is a matter which was also recently raised in this house when health department came. I think it was this week. And we were told that the nurses who were on contract, the medical staff who are on contract, they are being confirmed to on permanent basis. We were also told that an allocation was made in the budget for that to be done. And then we get the industrial attachment. And this industrial attachment, I don't see a lot on it. And the trainings are approved by the board. Those are staff who are going for training. It is also captured there, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on number 8 on page 9, there are staff who took county government to court. And it's easily explained which department it was, but it is assumed it was health department. There is also number 9, the disciplinary procedures. Then the committee is now getting answers from the County Public Service Board. That is page 10. Number 1, the inconsistent is corrected. Number 2, conversion of terms of employment. Not much is said on that, on page 9. Industrial attachment, also not much is said on page 10. There's also the training on page 11, number 4. Then we now come to page 11, number 5, ongoing recruitment exercise. The ongoing recruitment exercise is the exercise that is being done this financial year, not by the end of 2022. And the report should cover the exercise of 2022. The recruitment of chairperson and members of Kisumu County Revenue Board. That's an exercise which was done recently. So how this one is now being covered in the report of 2022 beats logic. The recruitment of chief officers and directors was done this year, and they are being captured here as exercise that was done during the year 2022. Then number 6 on page 12, staff payments. We know that there are staff at County Public Service Board who are supposed to be paid. But the payment is done at the finance department. These other departments just prepare their schedules, their records. A payment is effected at the finance department. When we are now being told that payment was done through voucher system, as if this was done directly at the Public Service Board, this needs investigation, Mr. Speaker. We are again being told, number 7, status of 964 staff promotions. which on the initial stages, we were not told that there are such a number of staff to be promoted by the Public Service Board. There's also the status of implementation of court judgments, the procedure manuals, and then status of recruitment of assistant ECD teachers and vocational training teachers. Mr. Speaker, were these posts advertised last year? Were they advertised this financial year? This was an exercise that happened a long time ago, and it had been handled in this house, and the answer was there was no sufficient allocation for this staff to be employed. When they are now appearing in this report as if they are the exercise of last financial year, it beats logic. And when we go to page 14, the board to duly oblige and provide timely information regarding the issue of provision of data, report on staff trainings, needs, assessment in all the departments for the period ending December 2022 within 60 days upon adoption of this report. Which legal basis gives the committee this power to ask for the report within 60 days? That also follows that the board to fast track the completion of hiring process of assistant ECD, that one I've handled. This is a past event that had stalled, and we are waiting for the process to start afresh in case the county government is serious on employment. And what now should be found was their allocation in the budget for this. If there was, yes. If there wasn't, and this is now calls for this, the committees, the members of the assembly, must be versed with the records of this house. When the budget is presented, let us internalize the budget so that when a matter will come up, we easily make reference. And it is on record that the committee struggled to prepare interrogate the report of the county public service board. They rejected it, and they have brought it for us to reject it. So we help you to do it so. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Mubawade, MCA
Mr. Speaker,
Southeast, Yakach.
I rise to support the report, but first and foremost, let me first guide my brother Oiko Pete that this report was not brought here by the Honorable Committee to second it for rejection, but for support. You can only tell the House that you reject it, but you cannot tell the committee to reject their own report. Mr. Speaker, the committee has done their part, the members have heard, and it is our rightful duty to debate it and amend where necessary. As it is, Mr. Speaker, they have poked some holes and enlightened the members on their recommendations on what should be done. And therefore, we should go by the recommendation of the report and adopt it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tom Nyauke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I've listened carefully to a submission of one of our colleague, Honorable Pete Oiko. But at the same time, Mr. Speaker, what would make me to appeal for the adoption of this report are the essential recommendations that have been given by this committee, Mr. Speaker. I'm aware, as also an employment expert, Mr. Speaker, that it indeed requires a lot of research to be done in regards to employment and the obligations that the people doing the employment are supposed to meet as per the requirements of our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, but even if it is that bad, Mr. Speaker, but the committee has done well to look at the recommendations that if can be followed forthwith, then I think we are going to be in the right direction, Mr. Speaker. If we throw this report away, Mr. Speaker, then we are throwing it with the good recommendations that should have helped to bridge the gaps of what we are seeing are problems that we are likely to face, Mr. Speaker, in the county. I therefore wish to implore upon my fellow colleagues to help in supporting the adoption of this report, basically for the recommendations to take effect, Mr. Speaker. I would also request the committee members to take a lot of seriousness more so after the adoption of this report to follow up these recommendations and give us back the feedback on the progress on what they have recommended and whether they are being taken in cognizance or they have been not been followed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to support.
Yes, Representative.
Mr. Speaker, let me first thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I may not dwell so much on the report, but I also want to say something pertaining to the report. One, Mr. Speaker, our standing orders put is that a report should be posted on our wall 24 hours before the sitting. And it's been a norm, Mr. Speaker, not only on this report, that most of these reports come to our attention before the stipulated period of time that is in the standing order. This makes it difficult for us, a few of us, who would like to go through this kind of report in a meticulous manner so that when we stand here to debate, we debate on something that we have comprehended fully. Mr. Speaker, it is not very easy when a report is being read and you are struggling through your phone to make some comments that you will at least debate on. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to request that the communication team actually adhere to that standing order. The report should reach our wall at the right time so that we get time to go through them. By the time the motion mover reads in the House, we are already in line with what is happening on the floor of the House. Number two, Mr. Speaker, some of us like Honorable Oikopete have difficulties in reading through these small fonts. I want also to request, when hard copies are being made, let me be also considered. I would like to effectively contribute to these motions, but given that I have also problem in reading through my phone, Mr. Speaker, it puts me in a very difficult situation. And those hard copies should also be given at the right time so that we go through them properly. But on the report, Mr. Speaker, the recommendations are what to go with. There may be some discrepancy as we have seen. There are some problems that we have also seen. But we can now not throw the baby in the water. Let us adopt this report and follow the recommendations to the letter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Seth Kanga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to acknowledge the work of the Committee of Labor under the stewardship of our able chairman, the Honorable Zachary Ukoyo, who presented this report before this Honorable House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the recommendations and submissions of the report, Mr. Speaker, the recommendations are coming as a result of findings, not just plainly like that, but as a result of findings of the committee. And the committee cited several inconsistencies. First of all, Mr. Speaker, the conversions of terms of employment as highlighted in Section 37 of the Employment Act 2007, Mr. Speaker. And the chairman highlighted those issues candidly, Mr. Speaker. There are several issues which were highlighted in the report, especially the recruitment of the chairperson and members of the County Revenue Board, which was just done recently, and it was concluded in this year. But it is included in the report, which is at December 2022, if I am not wrong, Mr. Chairman. I stand to be corrected. You cannot include an event which has not been concluded, Mr. Speaker, in a report of the previous year. I think that's why the chairman was talking about inconsistency. Those are serious issues as legislators that, if not taken into consideration, might the public, even several administrative bodies, might question the deliberations of this House, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, another area I want to talk about, Mr. Speaker, the board has got a tendency of advertising a certain number of persons to be recruited. And finally, when they will be concluding their recruitments, Mr. Chair, they have gone contraries to the adverts. Like in the case of the county enforcement officers and the county revenue officers. That was done in the second assembly when we were in the second assembly. The board advertised 60 enforcement officers. Mr. Speaker, they went further to recruit more than 240 officers. Those are the inconsistencies the chairman was talking about. We need to be very candid when we are presenting reports in this House. We are not rejecting that report in bad faith, but we are rejecting it on the basis that there are several informations, as highlighted by the chairman, which is not availed in the report. Mr. Speaker, under your leadership, we should not just pass reports just for the sake of passing them, that I am the whip of the government in this House. Now we need to pass it for the sake of it. I think that will not be fair today. We are not saying that the report, but the report, the chairman has highlighted to us recommendations and the findings as to why we need to reject the reports. Unless the information as highlighted by the chair is provided, we are setting the record straight, not to the Public Service Board alone, but to several county government entities when they provide reports in this house. Otherwise, Mr. Chairman, as a member of the committee, I concur with the recommendations as read by my chairman. Thank you very much.
Can a member call the mover to reply, because I can't see any other member on his or her feet? Honorable Mildred Ajumbo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now call the mover to reply.
Honorable Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I must appreciate members who have contributed to this report. Mr. Speaker, please allow me to respond on one or two issues before I sit down. Mr. Speaker, our plea was very clear, and we are asking the Honorable House to adopt this report as rejected. Mr. Speaker, we are not asking members to reject our report. The report should be adopted, and this should go in records as one of the reports which is very candid. Mr. Speaker, we would be doing a disservice to the members if we could lie that we were satisfied with the Public Service Board on whatever issues we wanted from them. Mr. Speaker, there were a lot of gaps when we were interviewing the board, and we decided to report everything verbatimly for the members to know and fill the gaps. Mr. Speaker, because I've seen most members have supported the report, Mr. Speaker, you understand when matters of unrest, when matters of unrest or disputes when are taken to court, and the county has been losing, and this is one of the issues why we found we could not be convinced by the board. So we rejected what they brought to us of not convincing. Mr. Speaker, that is what I have for now, and I still appreciate the members for adopting my report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, the Committee of Labor presented their report on the consideration of the Kisumu County Public Service Board's annual report for the year ended December 2022. And in their recommendations, or in their prayer, they have prayed or submitted to the House that the board's report be rejected. So, as per our standing orders, I want to proceed and put a question. But I want to make it very clear that when I put the question, if you say yes and you agree with the committee report, it means that the board's report is being rejected, and I think they have recommended 60 days for them to resubmit the report based on the recommendations they have provided. If you say no, then it means you are adopting the board's report. I think I'm very clear in that. So I want to proceed and put a question as our standing order, and I put that as many of the opinion that the committee report on its consideration of the Kisumu County Public Service Board's annual report for the year ended December 2022 as presented by the Honorable Zachary Okoyo, Chair of the Labour Committee, seconded and debated, be adopted, say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. And the committee report on the consideration of the Kisumu County Public Service Board's annual report for the year ended December 2022 by the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services have been adopted today. Thursday, the 9th of November 2023 at 15:41 hours. And I want to direct that the resolutions and recommendations therein be communicated to the Public Service Board for immediate action. I also want to direct that the Committee of Implementation follows up on the resolutions of the same. Next order, clerk.
Order number 9, motion on the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill 2023 by Honorable Moses Ochele.
Honorable Moses Ochele.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill 2023 be read a second time.
Yes, clerk.
The Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill 2023, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Kisumu to amend the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Act 2019 and for connected purposes. Memorandum of objects and reasons, statements of the objects and reasons for the bill. The principal object of the bill is to amend the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Act 2019 and for connected purposes. Statement on the delegation of legislative powers and the limitation of fundamental rights and freedoms. The bill delegates legislative powers to the CC member responsible for county administration to formulate regulations for the operationalization of the provisions of this act, but does not limit any fundamental rights and freedoms. Statement on how the bill concerns the county government. The bill concerns the county government of Kisumu pursuant to the provisions of the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 54 of the County Government Act 2012. Statement that the bill is not a money bill within the meaning of the Article 114 of the Constitution. This bill is not a money bill within the meaning of Article 114 of the Constitution. However, the implementation of this act shall occasion additional expenditure of public funds. This one is through Honorable Moses Ochele, Chairperson, Committee on Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security. Now the bill has been read for the second time.
Honorable Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I now move that the House reverse to Committee of the Whole.
But as per procedure, when the bill has been read for the second time, we move to the Committee of the Whole House for purposes of incorporating the amendments or recommendations from the report that was presented yesterday, I believe. So I will not put a question, but the House moves directly to the Committee of the Whole House.
John, you are here.
Order, honorable members. I request that everyone resumes their seat so that we dispense with the committee of whole as regards the amendments of Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill 2023. And let me give the honorable chair, the honorable Moses Ochele, on how you want us to progress, whether we do it per clause or we do guillotine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to believe that it is a question that should be thrown directly to the House. It is upon the House now to decide.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's your responsibility to propose to the honorable members whatever.
Chair, from here, I want to propose that we go the guillotine way.
Thank you, honorable members. As many as of the opinion that we go the guillotine way, say aye. Aye. As many as of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it, honorable members. So, in executing the changes that we have on the bill, we shall go the guillotine way. Thank you, Honorable Chele. Could you please then take us through the changes that you want to be made on the bill?
Thank you once again, Honorable Chair. We are proposing amendment in Section 2, that Section 2 of the Principal Act be further amended by insertion of the definition of the term special meeting in its alphabetical sequence as follows. Special meeting means meeting held for a special and limited purpose, specifically arising from unforeseen circumstances and whose notice may not be issued within a period of 21 days.
Thank you, honorable members. Yes. Thank you, honorable members. You have heard the proposal of Section 2 of the bill, and I want to put a question. But before I do that, I want to open it up for debate. Unless somebody has a contrary opinion, then this is the time to bring it up.
Chair, may I give information?
Proceed, honorable.
Chair, I just want to inform the members that as I read the proposed amendments, we should actually fix it the way it should be in the Act, so that all of us move together.
Thank you. I've noticed, I've heard you, honorable member. We are on debate on the amendment of Section 2, which introduces definition of special sitting and special meeting. And if there is no debate about it, then I'll put a question for adoption. That as many as of the opinion that Section 2 as amended become part of the bill, say aye.
As many as of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it, and section 2 shall be part of the bill as amended.
Speaker, procedurally, amendments require secondment. The chair just amend, even though we are the committee of the whole house. But I believe somebody should second, then you put a question. You cannot put a question without being, I don't know procedurally, but you can advise. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable members. You know the chair's role is just to guide the meeting. And the chair finished proposing his amendments. I asked for a debate and you kept quiet and we put a question. And
when the chair proposes, the chair of the committee proposes, he should request a member to second, then you put a debate, you put a question. But when the chair will be proposing and you just put questions, then the assembly will be proceeding procedurally.
Chair, I totally agree.
From my past experience.
Chair, I totally agree with you, but you know that's the problem is when you have in the assembly and have outside. And up to that point, we have reached a point where we had put a question to the amendment and we'll be moving to, and the members have even adopted. It's the resolution of the House that we adopt those amendments as proposed by the chair of the committee. So you request that in the next one we do secondment before we debate. So members, we have agreed that section 2 shall become part of the bill with the amendments therein. Next, Honorable Chair.
Mr. Speaker, we also propose amendment in section 10 that a new section be inserted immediately after section 10(1) of the Principal Act as follows. And that will be section 10(2). The Public Service Board shall, within 14 days, upon the completion of the interview process, submit the list of village administrators and the members of the village council to the county assembly for verification and approval. 10(3), without prejudice to the generality of the section 10(2) above, the Public Service Board shall, alongside the list of the proposed village administrators and members of the village council, submit a copy of the advertisement on the vacancy of the office of the village administrator made in at least 2 media outlets with national circulation, and B, report on the village unit of the residence and academic qualification of the proposed village administrator and the members of the village council. 10(4), the County Public Service Board shall submit lists contemplated in the subsection 3 above in accordance with the templates provided for in the first and second schedules of the Principal Act. And may I request Honorable Akwach to second.
Yes, Honorable Akwach.
Thank you, Chairman. I second the amendment as proposed by the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, we have amendments to section 2 of the section 10 of the Act, and I want to propose that we open it for debate.
It's a new section. It's a new clause that we are putting.
Yes, Honorable Kelvin Oraro.
And the advice I need house, if possible, if we can have a soft copy of the bill, because the chair is the amendment plus the original bill, and it seems that either we assume that there is no debate and we just say yes, or we can check so that we read from the same page. Because whatever we are having as the copies do not entail what the chairman is reading.
You know, honorable member, that's the problem of being absent all the time. We are inserting changes and new clauses into the bill that was adopted in yesterday's report. So if you have yesterday's report, you should having these changes that we are factoring in. Order, honorable member. So if you have a report of yesterday, and I can see you have a bill, the report says that we are inserting a new clause after section 10, and that will be section 10(1).
Chair, I don't know if you are talking from the same, we are saying the same thing. Whatever we have is just the proposed amendment. The entire bill, having all the subsection of what is needed, is what we don't have. That's what I'm trying to bring to attention, that yesterday I was here, I debated, and at least some of the things that are supposed to be guided, I'm asking you to direct so that we can have a soft copy of the entire bill, so that as we march in our discussion, we talk from the same page.
So, remember, are you suggesting that you adopted a report to change a bill, an act that you didn't even see?
You don't understand what I'm saying.
I don't get you completely.
Chair.
This is the amendment of the act.
This is the amendment of the act.
There's a principal act that was passed in this assembly.
I do agree.
That is not the responsibility of the committee to give you. It's their responsibility to give you the amendments they are making into the act. And with that comes the report on those amendments. I think it's your responsibility to find the principal act.
From the way you are talking, Chair, it seems like you want us just say yes, then we finish our business. You can proceed.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, and I want to make it very clear. For every bill that will be having an amendment here, it won't be the responsibility of the committee to give you the principal act. The responsibility of the committee will to bring for you the amendments that they are making in the principal act. And then they will bring a report on their recommendations on those amendments. So make it our responsibility to find the principal act and see what we are amending, which can be downloaded. All those bills are in the website of Kisumu County Assembly. Yes, so you would have done it earlier, not now when we are in the committee of the whole. So honorable members, we are debating on the amendments in section 10, which is inserting a new section, which shall be section 10(1), and we are debating on it. And if there are no any further debates, then I'll put a question that as many as of the opinion that section 10 as amended become part of the bill, say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it, honorable members, and section 10 of the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill shall become part of the bill. Any other amendments, Honorable Chair?
No? Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we propose amendment on the schedules, that the bill be further amended by introducing a schedule to give further effect to the amendment in section 10 of the Principal Act as follows. First schedule, that is to be section 10 of the Act, report on qualification of village administrators, submitted in accordance with section 10 of the amendment of the amended Kisumu County Administration Village Units Act 2019. And Mr. Speaker, with the proposed amendment, we have a table, and that table will act as a template. And it has a serial number as column 1. Column 2, we have village unit. Column 3, we have shortlisted persons. Maximum 3. A name of qualified candidates. academic qualifications, ID number, stroke passport, ward, village unit of residence, and then, Mr. Speaker, the County Public Service Board Secretary signs authenticating the tabulation. Then we also propose amendment to create a second schedule, and that is Section 53 of County, as in Section 3 of the County Governments Act 2012 and Section 10 of the Principal Act. Report on qualification of members of the Village Council submitted in accordance with Section 10 of the amended Kisumu County Administration Village Unit Act 2019. And we have a table with the same details as above. Serial number, first column, village unit, second column, and the third column we have name of qualified candidates. Fourth column we have ID stroke passport. Fifth we have ward, then village unit of residence. As nominated in accordance with Section 53 of the County Governments Act 2012 and Kisumu County Administration Village Unit Act 2019, and that is to be signed by the nominator, that is the village administrator, and dated. May I ask Honorable Rakwach to second?
Yes, Honorable Rakwach.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I second the amendment as proposed by the Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Proposal on amending the Principal Act by introducing schedules has been moved by the Chair and seconded, and I want to open it up for debate. There being no member who wants to debate on it, then I propose to put a question for adoption, that the Principal Act be amended to introduce first and second schedules, and as many as of the opinion that we adopt this schedule say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And the Principal Act has been adopted by introducing schedules. And now the schedules, including first schedule and second schedule, is now part of the bill. Thank you, Chair. Any other amendments that honorable members want to propose? Members, we are consulting with the Vice Chair and the Chair. Then I'll communicate. What is it, Honorable Vice Chair?
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I want to propose an amendment to the section 16 of the Principal Act, subsection 4, that the quorum for the meetings of the council, the Principal Act reads that the quorum shall be a third of the members. And I'm proposing amendment that it be 2/3. And I call upon.
Before you call upon, now could you please tell us how you want the amendment to read in the Act?
I want the amendment to read that the quorum for the meetings of the council shall be 2/3 of the members. That is subsection 4 of section 16. The reason why I'm proposing this amendment is that the highest number that we can have in the council is 6 and the lowest of 4. A third of 4 is 2 and a third of 6 is 2. And you can imagine a meeting, a full meeting being attended by 2 people, deciding for the entire village, while the council members are members of that village, whom we believe will be available during the meeting times. And this is a meeting which only takes place once quarterly and maybe when there is a special meeting. So they should be there. If at all the notices are given in good time, we should have sufficient number of members attending to deliberate on the issues that are affecting the village. So the number, the 2 is very small to decide, meaning that we'll have a chairman chairing and maybe one person taking minutes and there is no any other person. That one is a bit weird, Honorable Chair. So I propose that we amend it to be 2/3 such that if the number shall be 6, then we have 4 members attending. If the number will be 4, then we'll have 3 members attending the meeting at any given point. I propose and I call upon Honorable Chele, who is the able chairman for JLAC, to second. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Chele.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second that the quorum be 2/3 of the members.
Thank you, honorable members. A proposal has been made to amend section 16(4) of the Principal Act to read the quorum for the meetings of the council shall be 2/3 of the members. And I want to propose to put a question that we debate on the amendment. Yes, Honorable Kelvin, I saw you raising your hand. I think you wanted to say something.
Look at the mood of the house. The confusion raised make members not even to participate. It's a matter of the chair and the vice. And with that, it's so tricky for this assembly. But Chair, I wanted to point out that there's a total confusion. In fact, the committee of this assembly and the originator of this document that was to be amended, there's a complete clash. Chair. No wonder the paper you have given us and whatever is being read, there is some sense of conflict. But I want to bring to your attention one of the most important things that I've noticed in what you are reading about the quorum that has been proposed and the interpretation of the vice chair saying that this thing has said that we'll be having even a meeting once every quarter. But to my understanding and reading, they have talked about the village council shall meet at least, whereby at least means at least once. They should not fail to meet in each and every quarter. Then originally they were talking about a third of the quorum. And when you talk about a third of the quorum, they are talking about 2, and there's that debate of 4. Suppose they don't meet, they cannot raise the 4 in number. And yesterday I was talking about, suppose there's some disagreement. we need also to make a mechanism or even a proposal at this stage on how to cure such so that we have easy way of managing our affairs. Maybe, for example, let us take the 6 who are supposed to meet according to the vice chair. Let us take the 6 that Honorable Rakwach is talking about, and for that, he was talking about the 6 members of the council, or the 5. Then, suppose you talk about the 2/3. And the 2/3, you realize that you cannot raise the number, maybe out of discontent or something like that. So those are the things I really wanted, maybe those who are sat and were giving out information on how such issues can be cured.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Sometimes I struggle so hard to understand you. We are debating on the amendments of section 16(4). There's a proposal that we change the quorum from 1/3 to 2/3. I think if you are debating, it's either you support, if you don't support, you provide an alternative to the quorum, half or none or 1. Then members can also see on how to either support or agree with you. But every time you submit, I don't know how to give guidance on your submission. I don't know what to tell the person who has proposed, because I don't know if you have agreed, I don't know if you have refused, I don't know if you have a counter proposal on his submission. But that's your submission, not members. Otherwise, yes, Honorable Lumumba.
Chair, I have no problem with a 1/3 as a quorum. 2/3 actually, which makes sense, because if we put it as it was written, then we have 2, and in the event that there is a disagreement and vote is taken, then 1 against 1. So, 1 against 1. So much as I support the 2/3, the 2/3 of 6 comes to 4. The same applies that when there is a disagreement and there is voting, and then they go 2-2, then which vote now help make a decision? In my view, and that is the norm, that where there is
Jim, maybe I just want to guide you before you finish your submission.
Yeah.
That usually in meetings, the chair's vote is a casting vote. Members vote, then after the members vote, if the members tie, then the chair votes. I think you chair meetings even in committees, and that's how we practice it. Even the assembly, when the speaker gives us time to vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for guiding me. That's my case. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable members. We are debating on the amendment proposed by Honourable Rakwach on section 16(4) on the quorum of the council meeting. Honourable members, there being no any further debate, then I propose to put a question that section 16(4) as amended be part of the bill, and as many as of the same opinion say aye. Aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and section 16, subsection 4, as amended, is now part of the bill. Honorable Chair, you had some further amendments you wanted to put across? Yes. Proceed, honorable member.
Mr. Chair, I also propose an amendment on clause 2, that a further amendment be caused on clause 2 of the bill, amendment on section 10(1) of the Principal Act by amending clause 10(2) as follows. That clause 10(2)(b) is amended by deleting the word body immediately after the phrase experience and qualities meet the needs of the, and replacing therefore with the word office. Can I come up again, Mr. Chair?
Proceed, honourable member. I get you. Proceed. Honourable Member, could you please, I will give you time to debate. The proposal, if you don't get it from the chair, you will tell him while you are debating. Proceed, Honourable Member.
Then I also propose amendment on clause 3, that clause 3 of the bill under the amendment on section 12 of the Principal Act be further amended by introduction of a new subsection immediately after subsection 12.3 as follows. And that is proposed to be section 12.4. The CC member responsible for the county administration shall within 7 days upon the appointment of the village council issue a notice to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to provide guidance on the allowances for the village council members. Finally, Mr. Chair, we propose amendment on clause 5. That clause 5 of the bill on the amendment in section 19 of the Principal Act be amended in section 19.1 by inserting the words within 90 days immediately after the words shall. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And
Well, I think before you sit down, I would prefer that you insert those words and read to us the way now the new sections will appear in the amended act. After replacing the shall, after immediately, I think there was another one. From clause 2. Yes. Yes, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on amendment on clause 2, that clause 10.2b is amended by deleting the word body immediately after the phrase experience and qualities meet the needs of the. Mr. Speaker, on the bill, on section 10B, it will read, suitability of the nominee for the appointment proposed, having regard to whether the nominee's abilities, experience, and qualities of the office to which nomination is being made.
What is it, Honorable Kelvin? A new 10.2. Remember, we are amending clause 2. Clause 2, 10.2.
So that comes.
Yes.
We have amended clause 10.2 from the report. The 10.2 that is given initially. Originally, we had the 10.2, the Public Service Board, within 14 days. So, when mentioning 10.2, then I think, as a chair, you should need to direct the word be should be clear, so that as we move from, well, because from what he had read initially on the report was talking about 10.2 instead of 10.2a, so that when you are reading now, we are talking about 10.2b. B so that it comes out clearly.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Member, what we are introducing is a new clause into Section 10. That will change the numbering of what you are talking about. And what is amending is a new clause. The clause that was proposed in 10.2 is now being amended to introduce a new word into 10.2b. If you have this one here, the amendment bill. Yes, that's what is proposing the amendment on right now. I remember. So if you check on the bill, and then you go to 10.2b, that is what is amending right now. I hope you stand guided. So proceed on, remember, to the third one. Could you please approach the chair, Kelvin Oraro, so that we assist you very fast. Proceed on, member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the proposed amendment in clause 3, and you've explained it, that we are introducing a new clause immediately after we are introducing a new clause on section 12 of the Principal Act by introducing a new phrase immediately after section 3. And I had read the phrase that to be 1204, the CC member responsible for county administration shall within 7 days upon the appointment of the village council issue a notice to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to provide guidance on the allowances for the village council members. And I think, Mr. Chair, you ably explained that to Honorable Oraro. And now we move to the final bit, that is clause 5. Clause 5, that clause 5 of the bill on the amendments in section 19 of the Principal Act be amended in section 19.1. In section 19.1, and section 19.1 we amended by inserting the words within 90 days, immediately after the words shall. And initially it read, the county executive committee member shall make regulations for the better carrying into effect the provisions of this act. With amendment, Mr. Chair, then it will read, the county executive committee member shall within 90 days make regulations for the better carrying into effect the provisions of this act. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may I call Honorable Akwach to second.
Honorable Akwach.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I second the amendment as proposed by the Chairman of JLAC. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, a proposal to amend clause 2, 3, and 5 of the bill has been proposed by the chair and seconded, and I want to propose we open it up for debate. Members, if there's no debate, then I'm proposing to put a question that as many as of the opinion I remember we are debating. Proceed. Let me assist you all, remember.
What happened?
I remember, for every act, we are still doing amendment to that section. Let's first finish amending that section, then you can propose now what will be the repercussions if something does not happen within that 90 days. But for now, allow me to put a question that is amending clause 2, 3, and 5. That as many as of the opinion that clause 2, 3, and 5 as amended be part of the bill, say aye. Aye. As many as of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it, and now clause 2, clause 3, and clause 5 as amended is now part of the bill. Honorable Lumumba, now you can post your question and see how we can insert it into the amendments that we are making.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've observed several occasions where officers or certain bodies do certain things, and because they don't have the limitation, they can take as long as they want. A good example is advertisement of ECD teachers, which was advertised in 2021. To date, they have not been employed because we left a vacuum in that law. In this case, I would propose, or rather, wake you up that you come up with the limitation of if that is not done, then what happens? Like it is in the law where when a bill is passed and the governor or the president are not assigned to it, after a certain period, it becomes law. That is what I would want you people to consider in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Majority, Deputy Majority. Now I want to guide you very fast. And yeah, that's, if you read this whole amendment bill, then you shall have found that we already provide that in the bill. And if you read, it's in the miscellaneous.
Mr. Speaker.
It's in the, just speak the bill.
Mr. Speaker, you see, when you bring these documents, you bring them the last minute, then you tell us that when you ought to have given us these documents early enough for us to read. One day, Mr. Speaker, you will regret when you find out that you passed a terrible bill because you did not read it properly. Thank you, Mr.
Because we don't want to embarrass the Deputy Majority Leader. Immediately this document was tabled in this House, you had the responsibility of getting it. And I don't think, it has taken more than 21 days when this document was tabled. I think what most people do is when this document comes and it's given, you store it somewhere and you wait until the report is out. You should be part of the report that is being brought in this assembly now. And what we are doing right now is whatever we missed and what the committee brought is what we have. And if you follow carefully, we have this document in our website. And we have this document in our page as the County Assembly of Kisumu. So, Honourable Member, telling the committee that you didn't get the document, sometimes I don't agree with. But I just wanted to guide you. If you look at part 4 of the miscellaneous, I think it's on section 21, part 4. It reads, any person who commits an offense under this act for which no other penalty is provided is liable in the case of conviction to a fine not exceeding 200,000 Kenya shillings or a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months or both. So we have sections that we've provided for the punishment, but if there's any section that we have not provided for punishment, that is what this act proposes. If you have a different suggestion, this is the time to bring it. Thank you, Honourable Member. What is it, Vice Chair?
Honorable Chair, can we amend that section, that miscellaneous subsection 4, so that because it reads any person who commits an offense under this act for which no other penalty is provided is liable in the case of conviction to a fine not exceeding 200,000 Kenya shillings or a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months or both. Can we amend it to read both? There is no room for either. It is just both.
Honourable Member, I think in the practice of law, I'm not a lawyer, but in the practice of law, I think the provisions has been either fine, imprisonment, or both. So it will be at the prerogative of the judge then, whether to convict you and charge you the fine only, or convict you only. Thank you, honorable members. Any further amendments to the bill? Thank you. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think you've guided us well, and members have really contributed well. And it is now my time to move that the committee of the whole reverse to plenary. Thank you.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker,
Go, Mr. Speaker.
As the Honorable Chair of the House Committee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have very wonderful discussion during the Committee of Whole. And members really debated on the amendments that were proposed. Honorable Speaker, members have agreed that in Section 2 of the Principal Act be amended by insertion of the definition special sitting in its alphabetical order. So Section 2 shall have a new definition after emergency, and now it will read, special meeting means a meeting held for special and limited purposes specifically arising from unforeseen circumstances and whose notice may not be issued within a period of 21 days. Honorable Speaker, members have also agreed that Section 10, we insert a new section immediately after Section 10.1 of the Principal Act, and it will be Section 10.2. And it will read, the Public Service Board shall within 14 days upon completion of the interview process submit the list of village administrators and members of the village council to the county assembly for verification and approval. Honorable Speaker, there will be a 10.3 and it will read, without prejudice to the generality of subsection 10 to above, the Public Service Board shall alongside the list of the proposed village administrators and members of the village council submit a copy of advertisement of the vacancy of the office of the village administrator made in the last 2 media outlets with national circulation, and B, report on the village units of residence and academic qualifications of the proposed village administrators and members of the council, of the village council. Honorable Speaker, there shall be a 10.4 that will read, the County Public Service Board shall submit the list contemplated in subsection 3 above in accordance with the templates provided for in the first and second schedules of this Act. Honorable Speaker, there will also be an amendment in clause 2 of the bill, and it will read, and that is clause 2B. The amendment will make it read, suitability of the nominee for the appointment proposed having regard to whether the nominee abilities, experience, and qualities meet the needs of the office to which nomination is being made. That is after deleting office, body, and replacing with the office. Honorable Speaker, we shall have an amendment in clause 3 of the bill, and it will read as follows, after the changes, that the CC member responsible for county administration shall within 7 days upon appointment of the village council issue a notice to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to provide guidance on the allowance for the village council members. Honorable Speaker, clause 5 is amended to read, clause 5 is amended to read, the county executive committee member shall, within 90 days, make regulations for the better carrying out into effect the provision of this Act. Honorable Speaker, before I forget, we have made an amendment to 16.4 on the council meetings to change the quorum, and now it will read, the quorum for the meetings of the council shall be 2/3 of the members. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the Committee of Whole has agreed to introduce schedules, and there will be 2 schedules into the bill. The first schedule, which will be a report on qualification of village administrators submitted in accordance with Section 10 of the amended Kisumu County Administration Village Units Act 2019. And that schedule shall have a table with a serial number, village unit, shortlisted persons, name of qualified candidates, academic qualifications, ID number or passport number, ward, village unit of resident, and shall be submitted by the Secretary, Kisumu County Public Service Board after signing and appending the date. Honorable Speaker, we shall in the bill have a second schedule which is borrowed from Section 53 of the County Government Act and Section 10 of this Act, and it will be a schedule on the report on qualification of members of Village Council submitted in accordance with Section 10 of the amended Kisumu County Administration Village Units Act 2019. And that schedule shall have a table with serial number, village unit column on name of qualified candidates, column on ID number or passport number, a column on ward, and column of village unit of residence. Then it will have as nominated in accordance with Section 53 of the County Government Act 2012 and the Kisumu Administration Village Units Act 2019. This will be signed and dated by the village administrator after pending their name. Honorable Speaker, those are the proposals on the amendments that we have on the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Bill 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I ask the Honorable Chair Hochele to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the amendments as tabled by the chair of the Committee of the Whole. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, you've heard the presentation by the Committee of the Whole, as presented by the Chair of the Committee of the Whole House, seconded by Honorable Moses Ochele, Chair of the Committee of JILAC. I would straight away put a question that as many of the opinion that the report from the Committee of the Whole House form part of the bill, say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. Honorable members, I want to bring to your attention that the bill, that is the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill 2023 was introduced in this House, committed to the Committee of Administrative Law, Justice, Legal Affairs, Good Governance and Security, who subjected it to public participation. A report was brought to this House that was adopted, and today the second reading was done on the same bill, where amendments have been done, and I want to bring to your attention that that marks the end of the second reading of the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill 2023, and I want to direct that the clerk prepares for the next phase of the bill, which will be the third reading. Honorable members, you are aware that after the second reading, you have an opportunity. And this being not a money bill, we cannot proceed to the next level, which is the third reading in this sitting. So I want to call upon the House Business Committee to consider scheduling time and date for the third reading of the Kisumu County Administration Village Units Amendment Bill 2023. Next order, clerk.
Honorable Speaker and members, there is no any other business for transaction.
Honorable members, before we conclude, I had promised that I would give one or two members to officially maybe recognize the members of Kiambu County Assembly who are here. 2 members. Yes, Honorable Seto Kumu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to welcome members of Education Committee from Kiambu Assembly to Kisumu. Honorable members, it's a practice that we learn from the best. And by Kiambu choosing to come to Kisumu, it's true they chose to learn from the best. Honorable Speaker, we had a meeting with them, and I'm not just saying that, but it's from their own words. They're saying that some of the bills we are having currently that are helping us manage matters on education, they still do not have. As Kisumu County, we are proceeding with the ECD bill, which I believe by next week we shall be done with the second reading. They have not started. Honorable Speaker, we're having the TVET bill for Kisumu County, which is already an act because it has been signed by the governor, I think around 3 weeks ago. They do not have that. Honorable Speaker, we have a Bursary Fund Act that is helping us manage our bursaries and scholarship in Kisumu County, and they believe that we have one of the best. So by them coming here, they did not just choose Kisumu as a place to come and see, but they chose Kisumu because they believed in what we are doing, and they believe that they are learning from the best. I want to convey their special gratitude to the management of the city, because they told me so, that they've walked around and they've seen our city is so clean compared to other cities that I've visited. And we want to ensure that that is maintained for as long as we are still in this assembly. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank them for always choosing Kisumu, and I promise them that we shall, together with the Honorable James Omolo and Ruben Rakwach, revenge and visit Kiambu and do much more than they did while they were here. Otherwise, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mildred Ajumbo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I feel very excited that you have chosen on the people from Seme sub-county to talk this evening. It means that we are very generous people. I take this opportunity to welcome Kiambu County Assembly, members of the Education Committee. I'm very excited to see you people around. You've come to benchmark with us. Yes, it is true we have one of the best bills on education. Of course, coming from the able chair from Seme sub-county, where I come from. That
Look, Honorable Mubawade, we are not debating. What is your issue? Honorable Jumbo.
What about Seme? That was the trademark of my late dad. What about Seme? What about Migori? I was welcoming the members from Kiambu County, and I said our education committee chair, the able education committee chair, comes from Seme sub-county. I also come from Seme sub-county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Protect me, Mr. Speaker, from majority leader.
I promised to give 2 members, but now that this thing is starting to be a Seme issue, let me give Honorable James Obolo from Nyakach.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you are so wise. You see, Mr. Speaker, I know you are doing the gender balance, but you really got it wrong when you went to Seme again. Thank you. I want to say thank you to the Kiambu County Assembly, members of the Education Committee, for having to visit Kisumu and chose Kisumu as one of the best in terms of education. And actually, Mr. Speaker, these benchmarkings are really bringing issues which are good for the assemblies across the nation. We will also come to Kiambu and see what they have. You know, when we have the best, we can also get the best there in other things. You know that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we come to the end of this session. And I want to say that I also welcome the Kiambu members. And I believe, as the chair education has said, they will have an opportunity also to visit Kiambu. I was seeing Honorable Ngeta. I also want to say something about Honorable Ngeta. Just keep it. When you visit Kiambu, I think you will have an opportunity to to tell the match. Otherwise, there being no any other business in the order paper, the House stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 14th of November, 2023 at 2:30 p.m.